So if it's true, and I believe it to be true, I think what we have to do is we have to, the best effort as we can, reinstate the program, and then consider whether we wish to suspend it. Because we have to make right that which has been done wrong, or made wrong, and perhaps illegally, by the county manager. And then we can make this decision. I also think that we need to then figure out how we're going to get MedStar back up and running. Last Friday, whatever went down and however it went down and all the various Monday morning quarterbacking that went on about it, just points out to the fact that, it might have gone well or better than it could, but what about the next incident? And the next incident might be something we couldn't even currently contemplate. But what we can currently contemplate is whether or not this program should be restarted. And now, sooner than later. Because we're relying on a backup program to our program. And we saw today that Collier County thinks that we have a program. We haven't told them otherwise. We haven't told them why it's otherwise. And we're using their program to back up. We are relying on, backup programs to save lives.
John, I'll be right back.
Commissioner Mann, when this first was brought up, said suspending a 30-year program as a solution to problems within the program is a hell of a way to, not that he said hell of a way, but I think that's a summary of his sentiment, hell of a way to fix your problems. Cutting off your head, despite, some warts, maybe. So I don't know. I'm putting forward two approaches. One is to investigate our county management problem, which is only there for us in the form of the county manager herself. And secondly, to commence with restarting the program. Because if we let this go out through an investigation and go on and on and on, time is lost, lives may be lost in the process, and I think we not only further undermine the credibility of this board, because power has been usurped by us, and we've allowed it to happen on our watch. You cannot, there is no way to deny that fact. The power that rests with us by charter, which is the will of the people, has been hijacked by the county manager. You cannot argue against that. It's a fact. It's just a fact. And if we stand here and don't take action to gain that control and that authority back and reinstate a program that we have approved and we've funded, I think we undermine the credibility of this board. And then the faith and confidence of our public will go with it. In short, the county manager is simply unable to serve as county manager. I hate to say inept, but I think I have seen enough. And I could make a long list of personnel management decisions which rest in her lap, have her stamp on it, name, that are indications of this, and I've been raising this red flag for a long time. So if there's no will on the board to immediately put the county manager under investigation, making a motion to do so is seemingly fruitless. However, I want it to be known that I would support doing so, and secondly, trying to restart this program today, if possible.
Mr. Chairman?
Question, Michael. When can you get back to us with the written answers to Commissioner Bigelow's questions?
I was going to ask for 2 weeks if that would be possible, so I can do a thorough review. And I have one other request, is that the questions as framed, if I have to go a little bit outside in order to answer the text of it, do I have that leeway to do so? Yeah. Thank you.
Commissioner Hall, you had?
No, I just wanted to have a time certain so that we can, do things in a proper order. So you answered my question. Thank you.
Okay, county manager items.
Well, okay, so there is no will, if I understand.
Did you make a motion? Did you make a motion?
Well, as I said, Mr. Chairman, I'm trying to initiate some discussions about a problem I believe is is standing before us. This is the proverbial elephant in the middle of the living room. Commissioner Mann has left the meeting, he's returned, maybe he has some thoughts on the matter.
Mr. Chairman, if I may answer the Commissioner's concern, from my perspective, the things you're talking about and asking that we might consider doing, I think are best entertained after we have the answers to the questions that we all agreed upon to ask county attorney. So I'd rather wait until any further action on this matter until we have that information.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to end with this. I really, to clean my soul, my conscience, I have to say this. If it should prove later that some incident should take place, because we have not provided or restarted a service, a life-saving support service for the citizens of this county, I've got to put on the record the fact that my hands will be clean. Will not have the blood of any citizen's hands, blood on my hands because of it. I don't want to have to be at a place we could avoid being at later. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Trying to raise the issue as high, the importance of this issue as high as I can.
Okay. County Manager items.
I would respectfully request, Commissioner, that this not take 2 weeks, that this take no longer than a week.
Well, if he can get it done in a week, I think he'll do it, but he's asking for the time to do it thoroughly, and I think it deserves not a rush job. So I appreciate where you're standing, County Manager, but I don't want him rushing through something and not getting accurate information. So I think time's of the essence. Do you disagree, colleagues? Yep. If we can get it done in a week, great. Right, so I want to allow him the latitude of 2 weeks if he needs it.
Yeah, the sooner the better. Michael, the sooner the better, but you have 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Okay, County Manager
I
items.
don't intend to wait until the 3rd.
County Manager items.
Yes, she does.
Holly?
Good morning, Commissioners. We had suggested a few options regarding our state legislative lobbying program, and might I also suggest a fourth option as it was brought to my attention. It was suggested that we potentially just exercise the extension for potentially 6 months for the existing contract to get us through the end of session, and therefore then we would just proceed with an RFQ immediately.
First of all, option 3 doesn't fly with me because in less than 2 months you're going to have committee meetings, you're going to have new legislators. We need somebody on the ground. Okay, I don't care who it is, but this contract has 1 year to renew, and that's where I'm going to go. So I'm approving. My approval is for option 1. What the board does, it's up to them.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
The two companies that we're talking about that are on working for us right now are the two, in fact, that walked us through very effectively our battle against the fertilizer issue, which I made reference to earlier, and it's coming right back on us.
And Medicaid.
They know where the bodies are buried. They know where the staff are that are critically important here. They know the lobbyists that are against us. They know where the fight has to be carried. So I think it would be foolish for us to change horses right in the middle of a very fast-moving stream here. So I support you in just continuing the existing contracts.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I support continuing, but I think they need to go back out. So again,
I do too.
We're late in getting this back again. Every time we have to renew this, it's the same issue. So I guess I would make a motion to extend for 6 months, and as soon as session's over, process the RFQ and get it out there so that we're not waiting. Let's not wait till after our summer break. It just takes too long. So I don't disagree with anything you've said. It's too late in the game to change horses. So let's get on the ones we know and let's get through session. And if we have to, I don't know if 6 months is the right number, but what I'm basically saying is let's go through session with these existing consultants, lobbyists, and let's, in the same motion, I'm going to make that we put the RFQ out as soon as session ends. There's cleanup that has to happen after session, so I don't want to preclude our consultants from finishing out what needs to be done, so I don't know what the appropriate time frame is. I guess I'll leave that to staff, but I think that I want to make a motion that we immediately put the RFQ out as soon as session's over.
Motion by Commissioner Hall. Is there a second?
I second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Bigelow. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do get squeezed as a board every year with regards to the timeline, and it gets to be a little frustrating because we have at various times talked about going back out on the street opening up to other potential lobbyists representing Lee County. With regards to what Commissioner Mann had said, with regards to the fertilizer ordinance, I was directly involved along with Vice Mayor McDenim in actually having to several times fly to Tallahassee to testify before committees at the House level and the Senate level. And I can tell you that if it weren't for McDenim and myself and others, particularly in the environmental community, we would have lost that battle. It didn't come from the legislative lobbyists that allowed us to prevail and not have the state preempt local counties from having their fertilizer ordinance in place. In fact, it was a legislative lobbyist that actually helped us that was not even hired by Lee County. In fact, was there representing other communities and organizations. And what I would submit is that we need to go with, quite frankly, the one who has the experience with the Florida Association of Counties, has the legal background and has the demeanor and has been very effective in meeting with members of the legislature. And just as a matter of information, one of the members of our legislative delegation actually conveniently excused himself when a vote came at a House committee with regards to actually opening up the blackout season, June through September, for allowing the application of fertilizer. And so you can send all the requests that you ask of our legislative delegation to stand by our county, but they find ways to abdicate their responsibility. In fact, that was Representative Caldwell who conveniently excused himself at a House committee meeting. At this point in time, I think if what you really want to try to accomplish is continuity and consistency, and having that legal expertise as the general lobbyist, we'd want to go with Sarah Blakely. Pay her more than $25,000 that she's currently making. It's my understanding she's already indicated to administration that with the work that she's had to conduct, and she's been a good one, she's been a workhorse, that she would like to seek either additional compensation or she may not be able to be part of the team. Sarah is absolutely invaluable, and I would submit that if we're paying $80,000 for 2 lobbyists, that we can get along with the one general lobbyist, that being Sarah Blakely, and offer her an opportunity to actually be able to receive more from this county, but in so doing, reduce the overall total amount of $80,000 to both lobbyists. And that's the approach that I would recommend we take.
Okay, further discussion on the motion? Objection?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
I don't want to discount Commissioner Judah's comments with Sarah, because Medicaid and all of that, FAC had a lot of push with that effort. And while we have a lobbyist who has medical background, I think Florida Association of Counties and the collective push from all the counties was probably more impactful than Lee County's general lobbyist. So I hope that this board, if when we go back to renew Sarah's contract for the 6 months, if there's additional work that we're asking her to do, that she can come back and put in a request for those dollars and justify them, and this board would at least consider that, because I know that as many times as I've been in Tallahassee, you know, that's a workhorse there, and so I would not want to not have her working with us, especially on a lot of the legal issues. And I appreciate that Keith has now partnered with Fowler White and has legal support now that he's collaborating and a member of their team as well. So,
Thank you. County Attorney.
Is, Holly, can I ask you a question? Is Mr. Fermero used to lobby?
no.
No, not at all.
No, sir, we've got him listed as a water quality consultant.
So he's doing no lobbying during the state legislature, right?
County Attorney.
Is that true?
That's true.
Okay.
I mean,
County Attorney.
he works with our lobbyists, but he doesn't.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, I come before you today because I seek the board's advice concerning the ongoing litigation in Carl Harsh, Anthony J. Serra, Thomas Feldy, Edward Ferguson, Leonard Lewison, James Rambeau, and Kenneth Sager versus Lee County, Florida, case number 09-CA-000902, Circuit Court, Lee County, Florida. As a result, I request that the board convene and hold an attorney-client executive session on Tuesday, October 16, 2012 at 1:30 p.m. The purpose of the attorney-client executive session will be to discuss settlement negotiations and/or strategy related to